fat guy on a little e-bike. That's all I feel like right now. Or like I'm on like a clown on like a unicycle or something. Happy spring, kind of. We're still a little cloudy and rainy, but we're close. So thank you guys for joining me today. We're doing the DYU Ebike review. Hard to call it an e-bike. It's very unique. Sorry it's a little windy. If my audio is not the greatest, I apologize. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about on this bike. It's definitely the most unique e-bike I've had in the garage here. Man, where to even start? So I guess I'll break down what I'll do in this video. So we'll talk about some of its performance, which, spoiler alert, is kind of on the level. It has some pros though, don't get me wrong. We'll talk about who I think this is for, if you should kind of avoid it, if you're looking for certain features, or if it's something you like, if you're looking for other features. There's a lot to talk about here, so might as well just dive in here. So I'll start by going over the parts and kind of the quick spec overview. We're not going to dive into much because there's not that many parts. All right, so let's talk suspension first. This is all you get, a little springy seat. And to be honest, it actually is pretty comfortable. I got to give it a thumbs up for how awkwardly small this thing is. It actually is not crazy awkward to drive. And I'm like a really big guy. And that's another thing to preface. I am probably about 240 pounds and it can handle me. So that's saying a lot. We only have a 250 watt motor. It's a really small motor. It's a typical motor that you'd get in a scooter. So if you've ever been on an electric scooter, you're gonna get the performance of that rather than an e-bike. So I'd almost classify this more as like a scooter than I would an e-bike. So just going over the parts, there's no drivetrain. It's literally just a chainring and this rear sprocket. And it does its job. You know, on an e-bike, I find the less parts, the better, because it's the less things that'll break. And speaking of brake, we have decently acceptable disc brakes here. No brand name or anything, but they do the job. They're pretty thorough, pretty decent stopping power. All right, so brakes, yeah, fine. Drivetrain, as I was saying, there is a pedal assist. However, I gotta say, it is so, I guess, weak. Like, it's hard to feel that it kicks on. That the only time I've really been able to, basically what I'm getting at is you're gonna wanna be using the throttle plus pedaling to get the best performance out of this. We do have a headlight, which is nice. That is turned on by this button right here. If you hold that, that'll turn on, as you see there. And then this is the battery indicator, which is just high to low. Really simple. So if you're not into the complex like bike computers on other e-bikes, this is something you'll enjoy, because there's literally just LED lights here. I don't even know if they're LED. So outside of the lights, you literally just have an on and off button, and you can tell it's off because the lights go away, and you can tell it's on when the lights come back. And that's really, oh yeah, the rear light here is a manual button, which isn't great, and it's literally connected to nothing. It's like kind of an afterthought, I believe. They just kind of threw it in the box, which reminds me, this is by far the easiest e-bike I ever built from the box. You literally just kind of throw the fender on, and I think that was it. Maybe attach the handlebars. All right, so let's take it for a ride. Okay, so now we're on kind of a flat kind of road here where I want to just demonstrate the power of zero, where I'll literally just use the throttle assist here to take me from 0 to probably a max speed of maybe, I don't know, 15 miles per hour, if that. And, you know, I want to say it again as I'm reviewing this, like, this is working, like, we know off the top this is a very small motor. This is a 250 watt motor. This is not made for people who want to go really fast. However, it's hauling a large adult when it's probably made for more of a teenager or a well, maybe not kids, but I think you know what I mean. Someone smaller is going to have a lot more fun on this than anyone in adult range. The price point, again, I think, or well, I haven't mentioned it yet, is about just under $500, which you do get a decent build quality. I got to give them that. It feels very sturdy. It's doing its job there. Everything's very easy to use, which I like. And yeah, the only downside I'm really having is the smaller motor. So yeah, let's demonstrate that kind of from 0 to 15 on the road. Ready? So we'll just crank the throttle and let it go. And I won't pedal at all here. Let's start pedaling with it now, see how much more speed we'll get. All right, this is where we're gonna get the most speed of the day going downhill. There's a speedometer down the road from my house, like a, you'll see, let's go. All right, let's see if it'll clock us. Yes, it's at 15. All right, we made it back home. We got a good, decent ride out of it. Here, just so you can hear and get a feel of the motor and the power, or medium power, I'll just give it full throttle so you can get the sounds. Ready? That's it maxed out. And for scale, let me grab a bigger e-bike so you know what a little more power sounds like. So the hardest thing for me about this bike is, who do I recommend it to? Who's it really for? And it's honestly kind of hard to say. So the handlebars can come down, definitely, and the seat obviously goes down too. It gets pretty compact. I already checked. It will not fit in the front of the Tesla nor the drop down, but it does fit in the trunk. So it is good for city living. Maybe you're bored and you want to kill some time at a supercharger. I've thought about that too, maybe. But I think what it comes down to is this is probably for kids. I think older kids, of course, but it's got just enough power that they'll probably have a good time with it. It's reliable, so you could feel like they're on something safe. I think the battery life is actually super impressive, but probably just because it's such a small motor and doesn't have to work very hard, so you'll get a lot of life out of it. Again, 250 watt motor is usually the size that's on very, very cheap e-bikes or small, basically like scooters really. And I don't even know if it has that. Like, I've been on a 250 watt scooter very recently and it had a little more kick than this. So I don't know, take that as you will, but it's got enough power. As you saw, we were able to get to like 15 miles an hour. And then, man, sorry about all the cars. I can't make a video out here anymore. But yeah, so long story short, I feel like it's a good kid gift. They can take it on bike rides, maybe have fun. It's not gonna go so fast that they're gonna get hurt on it. Definitely always wear a helmet when you're, especially if you're giving this for your, anything with a motor and kids, please make sure, like, even if they're the best rider, like, you could get the throttle stuck and just it gets away from you. So you gotta be careful on these things. It's also the cheapest technical bike that I think you could get, under $500. There's no actual e-bikes that are that price unless you go used. So That's kind of hard. I also, though, maybe would recommend spending a little more money and getting an actual bike if you're buying it to get an e-bike, because I mean, it's just an awkward size. You're not going to have as much fun as you would on an actual e-bike. However, if you're looking for like a micro mobility, stored in your car, emergency use maybe, or you got to haul it up flights of stairs, so you want something small. Now it is, let me see. Oh, it's still kind of heavy, so it's not light. But lighter than the e-bikes I usually ride. So I don't know, hopefully that helps you in your buying journey. I know I had fun with it, so as much as I want to kind of like say, oh, it's slow, it's for babies, I did have fun riding it, so I think that's what matters. If you have any questions on it, let me know. I mean, again, like, my overall recommendation is probably, if you're into e-bikes, is to probably get something else with more power. You're gonna have more fun, you're gonna grow into it because you can adjust the speed on them and you can grow into the speed. However, if, yeah, again, you're shopping for your child, you're looking for something small, you're looking for something very easy to use, easy to install, go with the DYU bike. And don't get a DUI bike. No one should get one of those. That's the worst joke I've ever made. Okay. I think I should end the video here. So thank you guys again. I'll see you.